Boom, you looking for this?
Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Kel. This is
Sir.
Colby.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, Caleb. It's been a solid month.
Yeah.
It's been busy. Interviews, and I was in Kenya for 10 days and
Graduated?
Yeah, graduated. Whoop whoop. So back in the stew. First video. I don't know what the last video I was on, but I'm sure you can go back and find it.
Transformers 1, maybe?
Dude, that might have been it. That's been a second ago. So anyway, it's good to be back, and we're back with a tier list. This is the best Star Wars movies and shows, or our opinion, I think.
Yeah, and it's every Star Wars movie and show, but yeah, we're gonna put them into this.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start this starting now. Okay, so let's start with A New Hope. Where are you at with that one?
A new goat.
You think so?
I ain't gonna say that, but it is a goat of all cinema. One of them, I think. Just because originally called Star Wars, always Star Wars. So I mean, it's the OG. I feel like it's got to be at least A tier.
I can get behind that. I was thinking A or B. I don't think it's anything to write home about, but like
I
don't think it's S tier. That's what I'll say. I don't think it's S tier.
Yeah, I mean. It's like this is our personal preference. I feel like if we're judging based on the impact in culture,
it would
be number
S-tier.
one.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think it's solid A.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Attack of the Clones. That's quite the discrepancy there. This movie, I've seen an honest trailer about this movie, and it talks about how it's so poorly paced that you don't meet the villain until an hour in, and you don't really think about it until you watch it. But that's actually so true. It's poorly paced, bad dialogue, but for some reason, I once you get to the actual Attack of the Clones, I'm in.
Yeah, and that era is just sick. I mean, we got to see we got a taste of it.
Yeah, I think. Can you justify a B or a C? Where are you at with? That's where I'm in between.
I'm kind of leaning C.
Okay,
I want to say
I can stand behind that. Okay, so we're there. What about Rebels?
I want to say underrated, but at this point, I feel like it's not.
No, it's grown on people for sure.
Yeah,
it was underrated whenever it originally came out, I think, and that was just because of I think that was just because of the stature that Clone Wars held.
Yeah, so, it's hard to follow that up, but I think they did well. I mean, it's aged really well. I'll say that it's aged the best out of some of all this content.
So where are you at?
I'm thinking A tier.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't put it A tier, that would be... Is it but? It doesn't really matter. They're all the same. They're just all A tier. What do you think? Are you thinking...
I think that's a good spot for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it, too. Okay, so then we got Return of the Jedi. Another classic.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards that, too. I mean, I think it's probably another A tier.
Yeah, I think you got to go A tier.
But that also kind of begs the question, do you bump A New Hope down?
I would. I personally would. But I don't know where you're at on that.
We can bump it down and come back later.
Okay.
I mean, it's always kind of hard to rank the first one first.
Next up, you've got Revenge of the Sith. Automatic S tier. It's not even close.
Right, straight to the top, brother.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's just it's a fantastic movie. It may not actually be a good movie, but I freaking love it. So,
dude, I just hope they release this in theaters next year.
Yeah, for its 20th anniversary, turn me up. Imagine seeing on the silver screen. You get to see the opening battle of Coruscant. That's what dreams are made of.
Dude, put it in IMAX if you can.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can.
I don't know what
does it would support the format. I don't know. I don't care. Put it in IMAX.
Yeah, put it in IMAX. It's what dreams are made of, dude. Battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's what dreams are made of. Oh, yeah. This movie's just great. It's the culmination of everything we love about that era of Star Wars, I think, and it's the best era of Star Wars. I don't think there's any denying that.
Yeah, I mean,
at least for us.
Yeah, we grew up on it, and are we biased? Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean that's why it's our channel, Yeah. I guess so. It's our tier list, but you can always let us know your opinions down below. Next up, we've got Rogue One. Again, easy S tier, I think, below Revenge of the Sith. Are you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to judge it against Revenge of the Sith, but I think about the movie, I think S, A tier, but I also feel like Revenge of the Sith, if it was there, it'd be S plus tier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's hard
to judge. There are two
it.
things on my list that would be S plus tier, and Revenge of the Sith is one of them.
Yeah, and it gave us Andor, and the character and the show off of it. So It's good.
Next up, we've got Solo. This one might be unpopular for us.
Yeah, this I will say I do believe is underrated.
Yeah,
heavily
100%.
Underrated. I think it might be the most underrated.
I'm willing to put it A tier.
I think so too, man. I mean, to me, this is the second best Disney movie.
It really is. The spinoffs were working for Disney. I don't care what anybody says. Alden, what's his face, Einrich, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't understand what people were so mad.
He was great, man.
I thought he was great. I know it went through a lot of reshoots, but honestly, when I went and watched it, it was a blast.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of this movie, and I still hope they do them all.
Yeah,
like kind of a
Crimson Dawn type thing.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Movie. Next up, we've got Bad Batch. This one, I'm kind of in between.
It just ended, man. We got the finale.
Season 1, great. Season 2, Season 3, great.
And I will say this: the high of all seasons are high.
Yeah,
they're real high. But I feel like you got to judge the volume of work.
Volume of work. If I'm judging by the volume of work, I'm putting it B tier.
Are you? I kind of agree with that. I mean, I feel like Star Wars in general just. It sets the bar pretty high. Yeah,
exactly. And not that Bad Batch was bad, but it just wasn't peak, I would say. Like A would be peak A would be like great and this would be peak. It wasn't great, it was really good. I think
it was really good. Yeah.
Next up we've got the Clone Wars movie. I think it's like playing Geometry Dash. So I'm pretty sure I got that from somewhere.
This took me back to sophomore year, dude.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is it realistically?
I think it's a C.
Is it better? Yeah, it's better than Attack of the Clones for sure.
You think?
Maybe not.
I'll put it this way.
Story-wise, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: like enjoyability, I would watch Attack of the Clones before I watched that movie.
I can reason with that. Next up, we've got Star Wars: Clone Wars. Again, automatic S tier.
Straight to the top.
And I think it's above Revenge of the Sith.
I agree.
There's not a piece of Star Wars content. And that goes for the whole show minus the Padme 3PO episodes and R2, whoever else was in those stupid episodes. But I mean, even those were somewhat entertaining compared to. But like this automatic. Is there an S plus tier? Is there an S plus tier? Because that's where this would go.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you judge this against any type of media, it's S tier.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I was literally thinking. I was like, it doesn't matter if there was all kinds of shows. This still going to S tier.
Dude, you put Breaking Bad on there, it's right up there with it.
It's right up there with Breaking Bad. Hey. It's right up there with Better Call Saul. It's right up there with whatever other shows you're watching these days. It's just such a. Can we just take a second? It's just such a beautiful show. Like the anthology, like the voice acting, the plots, the characters. There's nothing better. It was like. This is just peak. It's just peak. Anyway, next up we've got... I'm pretty sure that's The Empire Strikes Back. I can't see. Empire Strikes Back, definitely the probably the most critically acclaimed Star Wars movie. But honestly, I'm not that high on it.
I ain't gonna say I'm low on it, but yeah, I'm not as high as other people, I might say.
For sure. I think you can... I would probably put it B tier. Realistically, I don't think it's better than Solo.
This might be where you get the most heat.
It will be. I mean, I'll put a B tier, and I'll put a B tier above the Bad Batch, just because the Bad Batch, it's like a lot to watch too. Next up, we've got The Force Awakens. Overall, not that bad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's
as far as Star Wars movies go, it's about a 6 or a 7.
And it's kind of like a New Hope reskin.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But still, I thought it was a good movie. I mean, you got to judge it for that movie. Mm-hmm. And, regardless of what we think of the other two that followed, I thought this was a good movie when it came out.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of... I would put it B tier. Would you say? Or maybe C?
I think I'd put it bottom B.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Next up, we've got the controversial one, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Which, I will say, I haven't had a change of heart on this movie in terms of Star Wars as a whole, but at least it was creative. It did do something different.
I agree. I mean, I
Controller disconnected.
I will say it's probably my least favorite Star Wars movie, but it has a lot of redeeming qualities even for me. I will say it's the most beautiful Star Wars movie.
It might be one of the most beautiful movies of all time. Visually stunning, and it dared to break outside of the norm for Star Wars, which didn't go too well, but at least it tried.
And I respect that it did that, but also it did it when it was the second movie of a trilogy.
Yeah, after it completely shattered the vision of the trilogy.
Yeah. And if you give Rian Johnson a trilogy in Star Wars, he's probably going to make some bangers.
I'm sure he could, yeah.
I don't think I'll say this. I don't think it goes D tier. I think we may have put it there last time.
Yeah, it doesn't go D tier.
Because, like I said, it has a lot of redeeming qualities.
I think if it's just a standalone movie, I'm probably going to watch it above a good bit of it.
Honestly, that's true. I mean, it has. I feel like for me, it has a lot of rewatch value.
Yeah,
because I feel like there's still potential there.
It is, yeah.
Especially with like all the like Bad Batch and all Mandalorian and all that. Trying to work its way into the story.
I would probably. I mean, I think I'd put it above Attack of the Clones, maybe even above The Force Awakens. Honestly. I mean, which one's realistically The Force Awakens is the better movie, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I could put it right here comfortably.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it.
Next up, we've got The Mandalorian Season 1, 2, and 3. Season 1 and 2, really great. Season 3 kind of fell off.
And Season 3 had some good moments. I feel like the action was really good. I feel like we got Moff Gideon too late, and then he died. Don't think he's dead.
Yeah. It felt kind of wonky.
Yeah, but I mean,
overall though, as a show, I think
all 3 seasons combined, I think it's A tier.
A tier.
What do you think? Do you think it's A?
Yeah, I think I could put it A tier, probably above Return of the Jedi.
I'd put it below. I think.
Okay.
I think that's a good spot for it.
Okay, I'm solid with that. Next up, we've got The Phantom Menace. Probably the most slept on one in the sequels, prequels, because you get the discourse around Attack of the Clones, which is that the movie's hot garbage. And then you get the discourse around Revenge of the Sith, which is that it's not very great movie-wise, but it's absolutely fantastic as a Star Wars fan. Then you get The Force Awakens, The Phantom Menace, which is just it gets lost in translation, I think. It gets lost in the sauce. What do you think about this movie?
I feel like it had a resurgence though recently with the re-release.
Mm-hmm.
It became the most watched Star Wars movie on Disney Plus, and it's like one of the highest grossing re-releases ever. So I feel like prequel fans are eating right now.
Yeah,
and I feel like this movie deserved its resurgence, like you were saying. I think it's a B tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I dare to put it B tier. Where?
I'd put it around Bad Batch maybe or New Hope.
Yeah, I think we can. I don't know. I like that. I'd probably watch The Phantom Menace over New Hope. But that's just me. Next up, we've got The Rise of Skywalker. As I like to say, Avengers Endgame Star Wars version. Because they're basically the same movie.
Yeah, it was very similar.
And that's the worst of the sequels, I think.
I think as a standalone movie, I'll say that. I said The Last Jedi was my least favorite, but if I was going to watch them individually and not as a trilogy, this would be my least favorite.
Yeah, this is by far. It's the least entertaining. It doesn't make any sense. There's so much going on. They added a bunch of stuff that didn't make any sense.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah,
that's got to be like, I know
you had to play Fortnite in order to get that.
And I know like the stuff they did with Luke, I didn't really like in The Last Jedi. But what they did with Palpatine, I could argue was worse because it kind of
it retcons Vader's story.
Yeah, really. I mean that's the whole point of like Star Wars.
Yeah,
like the sacrifice he made, he turned back to the light,
balanced the
killed
Force.
Palpatine.
Yeah,
and now he didn't.
Honestly, if I'm looking at The Rise of Skywalker, I dare to put it in the D tier. It's just not that great. This is like the not that great tier. I'm not saying it's horrible. It's just not great.
And also, in defense of the movie,
it tried to fix what was broke.
They just worked against each other. So some of the stuff they killed Snoke, and maybe J.J. Abrams was planning on having Snoke be the villain in this movie. So like, what are we gonna do?
I mean, as the Book of Proverbs says, without vision, the people perish.
Yeah,
and
that's what it was.
The Star Wars fans were perishing. Next up, we've got Ender.
Cassian Ender.
Cassian Ender. Yeah, give me Cassian S tier, dude. I'm right there.
Oh, I agree, dude.
Cassian,
right there next to Jen Erso, man.
Yeah, it's just, dude, this show is fantastic. It's slow. It's a slow burner. But the dialogue was elite. I mean, do you get any better than the prison scene? And then I think we got 2 great monologues in there. You got Luthen's monologue and then
Kino Loy,
yeah. You get his, dude, I'm pretty sure those monologues were in the same episode, which is just absolute gas.
Dude, that was a banger of an arc.
Yeah, it really was.
One of the best arcs in all of Star Wars, I would say.
So all I'm saying is it doesn't get any better than Ender. As far as live action shows go.
And you got to judge the whole body of work, but even the rest of the show is great as well, but even if it wasn't,
Yeah.
I feel like that elevates the rest.
100%.
And it didn't have to, but still.
It definitely shocker. It was definitely a shocker. Next up, we've got Ahsoka.
I feel like this is a big debate right now, Andor versus Ahsoka. People have been hating Ahsoka recently.
Ahsoka was great, but it's not better than Andor. I don't think.
As a show, I loved Ahsoka. I mean, I think you put it pretty high on my favorite shows last year, but I'd put it right there with Mandalorian, I think.
Okay.
In that area.
Yeah, I can sit with that.
Because, I mean, we got Hayden Christensen back, and that right there, those couple episodes were... Mm-hmm. I mean, we got to see Rex in live action. That, to me, just, like, it really brought me joy. It brought me back to my childhood, so...
Next up, we've got Tales of the Jedi. Definitely the better of the Tales of, I think.
That's a banger. I mean, honestly, I would venture S tier.
I can agree with that.
And say what you want, dude. We have more Disney than not in the S tier. I mean, like, hey, that's something.
Next up, we've got Obi-Wan. I would call it a tremendous letdown. I think that's the softest way to put it. It was a tremendous letdown, and it had its moments. It
did, yeah.
But there were moments. They were not. It wasn't consistent. I mean, and then you got to factor in the Leia chase scene, and that automatically bumps it down. Yeah, I think you could put a D tier just for that, dude.
I almost forgot about
dude, the Leia chase scene that might be the dumbest thing I've ever watched. I lost brain cells watching that. I think maybe C tier to B tier, maybe B tier.
I would put it low B tier, like bottom B tier, just because, like you said, episode 5, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Like some of the Vader stuff was really sick. And that was, I think Vader, it's the best scenes in this show. Yeah. And I hope they do a season 2, and I hope they really focus on Kenobi.
Yeah, that would be great.
And Vader, obviously, too, but, like, the show, so much potential.
It just could have been better. I think, and that's kind of how we are with Marvel these days, like, it just could have been better. I don't know. Well, anyway, next up we've got the Book of Boba Fett. I have to say, if you like Back to Tanks, this is your show.
Boba, if you're watching.
Yeah, love you, Tamara. But if you love a good Back to Tank, this is your show.
Dude, I'll say this: I don't hate this show.
Maybe. I mean, it's definitely above Kenobi for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking B tier, but like, I think maybe it's around Force Awakens.
Yeah, I think we could do that. Maybe I could see it either way.
I will say, I really enjoyed this show, and I got to get this out there. Cad Bane still lives.
Finally, we've got Tales of the Empire, the most recent Star Wars show to release pre-Acolyte. So this is pre-Acolyte. What do you think?
I think it's a solid B tier.
Where at the... Oh, wow. Hello.
I think it's towards the bottom.
Maybe above Kenobi, below Kenobi?
It's so hard to judge. Like, I'd say, in that area.
Okay.
I did like Morgan Elsbeth's story. I thought it was pretty entertaining to kind of see, and Thrawn, like kind of how she got intertwined with Thrawn. And Barriss, I thought had a cool story too. I think it was really cool to see what happened with her, and it was kind of tragic. Yeah, really both of their stories.
I haven't seen it yet, truthfully, so I'm deferring to your opinion. But typically we agree on most of the stuff that we watch. So anyway, I honestly like this list. I
think that's solid.
We're not saying this is concrete the best stuff, Anyway, let us know what you guys think. Do you guys like the tier list? What's your biggest disagreement? What's your biggest agreement? And then thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.